Tom and I grew up across the street from each other. Our homes were across Henry Avenue in Yakima. So we had a lot of fun together. My sister and a couple of his sisters were pretty close. Chestnut was very quiet in those days, and I walked down the street and he did too. It was a great family relationship and a lot of fun in that neighborhood.
Well, it's my privilege to know Father Tom for the last 57, almost 58 years, and his family as well. They were neighbors to us, only a few blocks away. He was in high school seminary at St. Edward's Seminary in Seattle, and I was an associate pastor at St. Paul Cathedral. And I've always looked upon Tom as a dedicated person, a person who had a goal, a person who was prompted by mission, and a person who had a deep concern for fellow men and women, particularly those in need.
I remember him as being a very kind, gentle person. And now that I've become his friend over many, many years in the priesthood, I think he's a very, very intelligent man. He's really smart. And he's also a very kind, gentle person.
In the fall of 1974, I was hired by the Catholic Charities Director in Yakima to be a marriage counselor, and did that job along with teaching out at Carroll High School for about 3 or 4 months. And then the bishop called me in and asked me to take over the job of being the director of Catholic Charities, which was a big surprise.
And here he was trying to be the boss of an agency that we operated as a team, and we all knew each other and had been together for a number of years. And he didn't really know what it was specifically that we did. So it was an interesting experience for all of us. What we were trying to do was bring him on board while he was the boss. Now, I don't think that's the ordinary way anybody would approach organizational development. But we managed, and little by little, we came to not only respect him, but admire him for his heart, because he certainly has a heart for people.
And under Father Tom's leadership, of course, Catholic Charities and Catholic Family Child Service has expanded immensely. He's been in leadership position for over 40 years, and we've seen it just blossom. And the housing and the outreach in counseling and all those different things that are embodied by Catholic Charities, he's really responsible, personally responsible for a great deal of the growth in our Catholic Family and Child Service.
He's sharp as a tack, in my opinion, and sees all the elements of a situation and the way they fit together. I've been on committees with him and have at times wished he were not quite so kind and would push his point of view a little bit more strongly, because I happen to agree with him on almost everything.
Catholic Family has always been an evolving, functioning, community-minded agency. And I don't think we ever just stood pat, because once you know what some of the issues and problems are in your community, you search your heart and try to find a way to address some of those. And Father Tom was really good about that, because he shared that. That was the common ground.
The idea is always to be of service to families or to kids, to parents who are struggling with life and in one way or another, and try and help them carry out their responsibility to their families. We try to think of ways that we can help people who are having a difficult time in life because of poverty primarily, to pull themselves out and become responsible and able to take care of their families.
Father Tom Champoux, in many ways, is the compass of the Diocese for Charities. That compass of charity is really grounded in his care for women, for children, for the vulnerable, for the poor.
Father Tom's been involved for, I guess, 22 years. He did the job that I do today, but he stayed on, and for an additional 20 years, stayed on to serve as the chair of the board. And so, what a commitment that is to the work of the agency.
My responsibility to the people of the diocese and to the bishop is that I make sure that the work of Catholic Charities as an agency or agencies continues to take care of the poor. And what we're trying to do is make sure that whatever funding or support the Catholic people have gets to the right place and does useful things.
We're going to need financial help to be as generous tomorrow as we were in the past.
The establishment of the Father Tom Champoux Fund is a very fitting tribute to the 42 years of service of his priestly ministry that he has devoted to Catholic Charities and Catholic Family and Child Service.
Whether I'm here or not, the poor are always going to be here. Poverty's always here. And so it means that whether I'm gone, somebody else is going to have the responsibility to do their best to ameliorate problems or needs.
We know from the words of Jesus, the poor are always with us. They're with us because we need them for our salvation. They're with us because they call forth from us greatness and generosity and beauty and witness in our lives. We are always going to have those in need so that we can be saved by our generosity and our service and our care. It doesn't matter how much or how little anyone gives to this fund. What matters is that people give in a way that it changes their spending habits and their way of life. Because when we do that, we become a better disciple of Jesus.